Hey everybody, it's me, 4 again. So, today we're going to unbox Godzilla Final Wars! Dun-dun-dun-dun. So, this is the Godzilla 2004, which is the Godzilla Final Wars Godzilla. How many times can I say Godzilla in a sentence? That many times. This is the Godzilla that is $20, about 12 inches or so. I know because I measured it with my dick! I'm just kidding, because if I did that, it'd be like... But anyway, it comes without his tail attached, right? And pretty much, yeah, that's it. I mean, this is the box. Looks fancy. Not really, no. The back of it, I do enjoy the picture that they use. It's a good one. Good shot. Says, giant monsters are attacking cities across the globe, and humanity's only hope against certain annihilation may lie frozen in the Antarctic. Godzilla! From the 2004 film, Godzilla Final Wars. And if you haven't seen that one, by the way, it is literally the best Godzilla movie there is. That's it. So, I guess, without further ado, let's break into this little guy and see what happens. So, it's got some tape on it. Ah! When breaking into Godzilla toys, it's just best to be Godzilla. See how that works? That's all you gotta do. And then, like, other side. And then it's got these stupid zip ties, like when the police arrest me all the time. It's really terrible. Okay, my Godzilla powers have officially weakened. And shaking it doesn't work either. Now we have to move on to more sophisticated methods of breaking your toy apart. Okay. Sharp objects. Now keep in mind, people, when having sharp objects, you have to be very careful not to cut yourself or your action figures. Gotta be careful with the action figure, though. Success number 1. Oh, that one's... Uh-oh. Ah! Oh. Success! Now that my success has been won, let me, tail. So, now, getting this guy out initially, his feet turn, articulated feet, which I don't really understand why that would have to be a thing, but okay. Articulated arms, similar to the Bandai figures. Articulated legs for ass kicking, whoop-ha! And articulated head for looking sideways, unlike the guys who are in the actual suits half the time. Really sucks for those guys. Tail is not articulated there, but you do have a peg for pegging Godzilla. And, I guess you just... jam that in there, just like that. Whip that little guy around. So then you have 2 points of articulation on the tail, which also really doesn't do any good, I guess, except for maybe standing him up. But that's pretty much accurate on anything like that. I mean, that's pretty much it. His feet seem a little crooked. Like, how's he gonna stand? One of them seems a little lopsided in. You can't really tell that. I'll have to get an up-close shot, but they seem a little lopsided in there. Overall paint job there's not really much of one. Okay, so going off of that, I'll probably repaint this guy and give him a lot more depth. Definitely. Overall paint, it doesn't appear to have any overall in the front, other than like the teeth, the claws, the white parts there, and the eyeballs. The back has a light spray of white on his spines. And the spines themselves are kind of weird. They're rubbery, which I kind of wish the whole thing was more rubbery. Like his arms are rubbery. The feet are kind of a hard rubber. But then we have kind of the plastics, you know, for the body. And the tail, the last tail piece feels rubbery. And the head is rubbery. But the spine is kind of weird the way it's done. It's done in sections. So it kind of has a section going from here to here, then an intersection of the other spine part, and then a big section here, an intersection of the spine part. It's done like a terrible road, you know? Like when they just chunk road parts into it, and they're like, we'll fix it later. And then they never do. And then you're driving along, you're like, go-go-go! And it scares the crap out of you, and it sucks. But overall, I dig the figure. You know, it's kind of weird. He looks like, here in the crotch, in the Godzilla crotch, it kind of looks like maybe he was supposed to have a ball joint. With the way the mold looks, or the way the sculpt looks right here, it's kind of got a space going on that gives you kind of the impression that it could have went in. Maybe to give him a little bit more articulation in the legs, like a ball joint of some sort. Huh, that is interesting. So maybe the original sculpt was meant to have a ball joint there. Slightly. Yeah, that definitely looks like it should have probably been a ball joint of some sort. At least a little bit more than what it is. Like, this is not a ball joint. This is just a swivel kind of thing going on. Well, I guess his feet are more flat that way. So, looks pretty good. He actually reminds me a lot of, like, the old figure like this, which is actually a knockoff from back in 1965. No, I don't know when. I had this one since I was a little kid. But the similarity of concept, I guess, because it's... Let me set this guy down now. Hang on. Bye, old Godzilla. Or new Godzilla. But it's, you know, the simple articulation, foot, leg, head, tail. But these guys were made out of like a thick, hard tar rubber or something that was like virtually indestructible. You could run over it with a car, you could throw it off a building, you could beat your neighbor kids with it. I mean, all kinds of things. This thing was durable. I mean, god dang. This thing was built for destruction. But it's like a hard, all of it, the whole thing is like a hard rubber tar thing. I don't even know. I wish they built things out of this material still. It's probably toxic as hell. I'm probably getting cancer right now touching it. Probably you're getting cancer right now watching it. But, hey, you know, it's an amazing material, whatever it is. It kind of reminds me of that with the basic articulation. I do like that articulation. Hell, this knockoff's paint job is more, like, colorful and more thought out than this one, though, from Playmates. Like, literally, the Playmates one is so drab. And even the detail work overall is less, on this one, is less, like this guy here, his detail work is kind of, glossed over, you know? It doesn't have quite the, sharpness to it. It's very dulled. And even this one has sharper detail, you know, with its overall scale looks. I mean, they look like crap, but it's not as dull. Like, you know, you can tell it's a two-part mold on this stuff here. Or not two-part mold, but two pieces of plastic stuck together. And the mold parts are from one direction. So when it gets closer to the mold, you can definitely tell that it's not detailed. So that kind of sucks. His head looks rather well detailed. Overall, by comparison, could have used a little more sharpness. So when it comes from the head detailed, which is sharper than the rest of it, but into the neck, It doesn't look nearly it doesn't flow well. I mean, obviously, it's a $20 figure from Walmart, from Playmate. You're not looking at some $300 plus figure imported from Japan that's, 700 points of articulation. Which, by the way, I don't really like those. I do prefer the Bandai figures, and they're simple 5 points of articulation at best, half the time. I like that. I like their little vinyl, rubbery, my kids can play with this. My dogs can play with this. My dog's kids can play with this. My kids' dogs, kids' dogs can play with this. So it's really nice that you can have something like this. And it doesn't really, and they don't take up a lot of space. I like that. And, even though this guy is a hard plastic, he's still not made out of that indestructible tar plastic. So definitely don't, throw him off buildings or run over him with your car or anything like that, because you'll break your figure. But hey, at least he won't give you cancer. I mean, that I know of. I don't know. But I mean, it's not a bad looking figure for $20. A little repaint if you're good at painting. Hit it with some black primer, a couple of dry brush over it with a little bit of, grays and browns and things like that to go in those cracks and, really highlight it. It'd probably pop pretty good. Especially from a distance, you'd probably be like, wow, that is a good-looking figure. So I think it has potential, definitely. Overall rating, I would say, as a figure, it's not bad. It's at least a 6. I'd say a 6 out of 10 or so. Because it's pretty good. It does lack articulation. I like that. That's me. But in some of the places, it could have better detail for sure. Especially that neck parts coming into the head. That should probably gel a lot better. Again, I'm weirded out kind of about the way that's connected in the back. But if it's just going to be sitting on your shelf with the rest of your Godzilla figures, it ain't bad. If you're going to be playing with it, because you're 45 and live in your mom's basement still, don't judge, okay? Hashtag 2020. You can't judge me. Then, it'll be all right. It'll be okay. But yeah, it's not too shabby. The other ones that they're releasing are garbage. They're garbage. Just, oh my god. I was looking forward to Destroya. I was looking forward to, picking up some of those. Oh my god. They're terrible. So for this review, I'm going to say, is it worth buying? Yeah, if you're a Godzilla fan. If you don't have a Godzilla Final Wars Godzilla, here you go. It's $20 at Walmart. And it ain't bad. Drop your comments on what you think the figure's like, if you've got one. If you've seen it. Give me your opinions on it, how well you like it. The end. Check it out. See for yourself. I mean, they're at Walmart. Go look. There's also a King Kong one, but who cares about King Kong? Stupid monkey. Find me on all of your favorite social sites and join my insanity. Whee!
Look what I made!